Welcome back. Thank you for your hard work in previous lectures. In this lecture, we will use Python to run LTspice simulation. Specifically, we will run schematic files with .asc extension. First, we need to understand the command line in LTspice. This table is copied and pasted here from ltwiki.org. It has quite a few different flags and descriptions. Basically, each one is a command line. And for LTspice, the first thing is we can run the LTspice. The command is -run. It starts simulating the schematic opened on the command line without pressing the run button. In other words, LTspice window will pop up and will open and run the file. It supports 3 different types of simulation files, including .asc as schematic, or .cir as circuit, or .txt file. The second important thing is to run the LTspice in batch mode. We can use command -b. B is for batch mode. That means LTspice will run the file in background silently. It supports .cir or .txt files. It will create the raw data in the same directory after finishing the simulation. Now let's run .asc file in Python. For the first time, let's run Spider. This document has been given to you to show you how to install Anaconda on Windows. You can follow each step and run the Spider. After each step, you will have Spider installed, and then you just can run the Spider here. And make sure you can run this simple example successfully in your Windows PC. Now let's go to Spider. Now let's run Spider. Double click. Let's go to the working directory for this lecture, section 3.5, and you can open the Python file .py. Open, so we can see the source code to run LTspice using Python. So first, you can see if I move the mouse over different cells, you can see it's highlighted in light yellow. Each cell is separated by a pound key, a space, and a double percentage symbols. To run each cell, you can hit this button or just use Control with Enter. So the comments are in gray, starting from a pound key. First thing first is we need to define the directory to run the LTspice executable files. In my case, I have LTspice installed in my C disk. So let's go to this directory. We can make sure this executable file is given here. In my case, I'm using 64-bit. So this is the name for exe file. So this is the directory dir file for this executable file. The second line is to import subprocess, which help you to run an outside executable in Python. Make sure you are in the correct directory for this lecture, and you move your mouse over here, you can hit Run Current Cell. It's finished. So this is the window for Spider. The left-hand side, we call it Editor. On the right-hand side, the top window, there are a few tabs. The most commonly used one is Variable Explorer. Since we just run this cell, this string with a double quotes. This is the name of this string is shown here as a variable. We can check this variable by double-click the values. And also, this line is executed as well. Now we want to use Python to run LTspice. We can use subprocess.call to finish that. So this, in the brackets, this is a string. dir underline 17x64. So this is the string of the directory for executables. We can add these two strings together. The second one is the 64-bit full name of the executable file. In my case, we use -run to use run mode. After that, this is the schematic file from LTspice. Make sure that there's no space in the file name. In Python, there's no space is allowed in the LTspice file name. For example, this case is a bad name because it has space in between. Python cannot run it. Instead, you can use underline to replace the space. So this one is a good example. To run this cell, you move your mouse to hit this cell, and this cell is highlighted. Hit this button so that Python will run LTspice. As we said before, if we use -run, the LTspice window will pop up and run the simulation without pressing the run button. To double check that, we can go back to LTspice. You can see the raw data has been created. We can use your mouse to check the data at vout. You can use this button to tile the windows. And go to the directory. You will see the data has been created. All the raw data is saved here using the same name but different extension. It uses .raw. Now let's try to use the batch mode. We close LTspice. Go back to the directory. We delete the raw data and the associated files just created. We delete. So now we just have the LTspice schematic left. Now let's go to this cell. We use batch mode to run .asc. Hit this button. We can see this schematic is opened by LTspice. But if we go to directory, you can see nothing going on. That means the batch mode doesn't support .asc file. As we have explained before, the batch mode only supports .cir or .txt files, which will be discussed in the following lectures. This is the reference I used for this lecture. Thank you very much. See you soon.